Okay, so now we have our metal handle attached to the 3/8 sinker cord, which has now been filled with BBs. It's not very long. This is for a very short bullwhip, and it's even got a very tiny handle on it. It's only about a 5.5 inch handle. I don't use a lot of tape in my whips, but I do like to use some at this point. My very last BB is right here. To keep everything in there nice and tight, you want to make sure all these BBs are packed in there as tightly as you can as well. You don't want any gaps between them. I take the sinker cord and just fold it over. I pinch that over there so that that last BB won't move. And then I'll put one layer of electrical tape wrapped fairly snugly from this point all the way up to the steel handle. You're going to see your sinker cord wants to twist on you. Just keep untwisting it, or even if you let it hang, sometimes it'll untwist on its own. You just can't always do that with a longer core. It's not really important what angle you wrap it at. I do it at about a 45. I guess I'm overlapping about halfway from my last wrap. This adds a little bit of girth to it, takes a bit of the floppiness out of it too. Get the handle now. Now this is the point where you're going to want to have it as tight as possible. This is the transition from your handle to your thong and your bullwhip. You're going to want to have some rigidity there. You don't want to be throwing a wet noodle. You might as well start right from the beginning. Now that it's been taped, we're going to set this up in the vise, and then we're going to bind it a little bit. Okay, so we're set up in the vise. I've got some artificial sinew here, and we're just going to bind this on, not very far, only about an inch or two past the handle at this point. It's not going to have a very long transition, stiffened transition, this whip. It's only going to end up going a few inches past in the final product too. Serves two purposes really. We're going to make sure this is really secured onto the handle, and at the same time we're starting to add a little bit of rigidity to the transition point. So just wrap that on. I'm not going too tightly at this point because you're just going to skew all those BBs out of line, and it can get a little crooked and wonky if you tie it too tight. Just taut, you know. Now when you get up to the point where it connects to the handle, here I put a little bit more tension, and especially on the handle, here I really go to town. Here I make sure it's as tight as I can possibly get it. I do not want this thing sliding off. I mean, once all the plated layers are on, it shouldn't be going anywhere anyways, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Just go over this one more time. Once you've done that a few times, it's on there nice and tight. Just tie a couple of quick knots. Cut that off. You can see that I'm still a little bit thinner at this point than I am back here. And that's alright, because I'm going to plate I'm going to plait my first belly over this, and then I'm going to add some more binding. Adding binding here adds a little bit of thickness, so with 2 more layers of plaiting that are going to be bound on top of this, once all that's done, this will all be one equal, thickness. You won't see that little drop. And that is how I build the core for my bullwhips. Thanks for watching.